Well, welcome everyone to our email marketing secrets. I hope that all of you are ready with your questions, and I hope that I actually answer them before you even have to ask them. I'm Diane McKeever. I will be your presenter today and your host. I'm flying solo, so it's up to you to let me know if I'm on track or if something is wrong. Please let me know. So before we get started with our email marketing secrets, I want to tell you a little bit about SCORE. If you don't know, SCORE is a nationwide nonprofit organization that's a resource partner of the good old US government, the Small Business Administration. We provide small businesses with free, really free, we never charge, confidential business mentoring. If I don't know the answer, if you're one of my clients and I don't know the answer, we have 90 volunteers in our chapter who can help support me and support you in your goal to opening up your small business. Our chapter was recently recognized as a district chapter of the year. Since its founding more than 50 years ago, SCORE has assisted over 11 million clients and small businesses. Well, when do we help you? We help you in all phases of your business. If you're just thinking about a business, many of my clients have really just kind of woken up and thought about it and thought that maybe it'd be fun to have a business, and they approach us to have a mentor. And we're happy to help in that process. Actually, it's easier if we help in that process sometimes. Or if you're in the startup phase, you actually opened and now you realize that there are a couple of challenges that you need help with. We're there to help you. Or you want to grow your business, you want to increase your marketing or get out into the public a little bit more, we can help you there. And lastly, if you're thinking about selling or closing a business, we can help you. We have a strategy team that will help you identify what the value of your business is and what you should be asking for it. So don't even think about selling or closing a business without applying for one of our specialty mentors to help you through this process. I very much encourage you to go to our website if you haven't been there yet, minnesota.score.org. There, you can request a mentor. So wherever you are in your business development, please think about requesting a mentor. We can make the road a lot easier for you. You can find other webinars or web shops. I think they're called workshops. You can sign up for them online. You can locate podcasts. We have a lot of podcasts that have been recorded. And, there are some things that don't change over time. So you can look through these. And also, we have a lot of resources in our libraries. If you're thinking about a P&L and don't know where to begin, you can look for a P&L template, and we've got them available to you. Lastly, I'd like to thank our sponsors and community partners. Without these folks, the lights would be off and we would be by ourselves here. Let me go back there for a moment and let you see all of these wonderful banks and credit unions that help and support us. If we refer a client there, they get paid attention to a lot more than somebody just walking into the bank without our help. So think about applying for a mentor for that reason alone. So without further ado, let's get started on email marketing secrets. As I said, my name is Diane McKeever. And you might say, oh, email, it's so old-fashioned. Why would I even think about having an email campaign? Nobody reads email anymore. And I would be here to say, well, I think you might want to reconsider that. Often the return on your investment in email is so much better than almost any other marketing resource that you can use. It's easy, it's fast, you can reach your target audience, and it can be extremely effective. So here are some things that you might want to consider. There's over 4 billion daily email users. Like you, I check my email once, well, way more than once. I check my email all day long. And even when I go in there and do my triage of click, 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 delete, I have noticed who is sending me emails. And so it's an opportunity for your name to get out, if nothing more than just another way, subliminal almost way, that people know that you're there and remember you, so that if I'm looking for whatever product or service it is that you're providing, I might think about going to your business more than I would someone else. 64% of small businesses use email to reach customers. If you're not part of that 64%, don't you wonder why? If it's that effective, if that many people are using email, why aren't you? And it's not just small businesses, right? Think about the emails that you get. They're from large businesses that find that this is a very economical way to reach you. 30% of marketers and their customers send 3 to 5 emails a week. That seems a lot to you, does it? Maybe it's not enough. Maybe you'd like to send them daily. Every morning at 7:30, I get an email from the same business letting me know what kind of discounts they have, letting me know what kind of products they've got on sale this week, letting me know about any specials every single morning at 7:30. I've actually thought about unsubscribing from them, but I think I would almost miss their morning Heidi ho and letting me know what's going on. 4 out of 5 marketers say they'd rather give up social media than email marketing. Social media can be a bear, can't it? Coming to think about all of the different ways that you can market on social media, going into the groups, it can be a lot of work, and your return on your time investment may not be all that great. So think about changing to email marketing. And 20% of retail, e-commerce, and consumer goods and service companies are personalizing their emails based upon gender, race, ethnicity. So that's going to very much affect how you're going to market, isn't it? One thing that we'll talk about is segmenting your email market, that you don't put everybody in one pot and send out one email to everyone. You might think about sending one email to previous customers, because you can say, hi, thanks for supporting me in the past. Consider looking at our new line of products or services, or we've got a new person on staff who's waiting to help you. Let me introduce you to them, whatever it is. That's somebody you would have a very different target email to those people, because they've already been your customers. Okay, 74% of baby boomers, I'm in that category, think email is the most personal channel to communicate with brands. We grew up with email. If grew up means that 25 years ago, when email was started, 25, 30 years ago when email was started, some of us were right there. My email, of course, was AOL, because that was the only thing that you had available to you. And the beauty of AOL is that it came with on a CD, and you put it in and you loaded it, and it gave you an opportunity to communicate with the outside world. How exciting was that? We could send emails to one another. There wasn't much on the internet to look at. And of course, your speed was pretty slow because you're over a telephone line, but it was so exciting. And you kind of looked forward to getting emails from businesses. So those folks are really happy about and accustomed to having email as a marketing tool. So let's talk about a successful email secrets. There are a whole lot of secrets that I'm going to give you. Maybe they're not secrets, maybe they are, that will help you be more effective with your email campaigns. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is stop talking about yourself. It's not about you. You know, one of the things that we do with our clients, one of the first things that we do is we talk about the unique selling proposition, USP, unique selling proposition. And it's what makes you and your business different from your competitors. Now, why would you even start a business if you say, my business is exactly the same as another person's business? I don't really have a competitive advantage, but I'm hoping that I get some overflow business. Well, if you can't identify what makes you unique, are you open longer hours? Do you offer more support? Do you offer more benefits? What is it that you offer? You need to keep those things in mind and tell the customer, because it's the customer that you always have to keep in mind when you are emailing or when you're doing actually any marketing, isn't it? So you're trying to help your customers. You need to keep in the forefront of your mind how you can help them and tell your customers how you can help them. You're going to want to promote your products and services to them in a way that says, this is the problem that we solve for you. Always talk about your customer and how you can help them. Show your compassion and desire to help the customer. Absolutely. Focus on what your customer can benefit from and offer free tutorials and how-to guides. You know, interestingly, I have a friend who has a business. It's a decluttering business. And he puts out amazing videos on how to declutter. Now that's his business, and he's giving you the secrets of his business and putting them out on LinkedIn and sending emails about them. And you'd say, well, you know, if you're sending me videos on how to declutter a basement or garage or a playroom or a closet or whatever area, why don't I just watch those videos and do it myself? And the secret, of course, is that just knowing how to do something isn't enough. That often you need somebody there next to you, providing you with guidance or cheering you on. So think about tutorials, helpful guides, how-to guides that can benefit your customer so that it is something that you offer as a service, you educate them, but the chances are really pretty good that they're going to contact you to do that work, even though conceptually they know how to do it. So when you're using your email, you probably will be using a company that we'll talk about towards the end of the presentation, a business that will host your emails, that will keep track of your email addresses, that will also keep track of the statistics that are generated at the end of each campaign. And they will have templates. And you want to make sure that your template is a current design, that it doesn't look stodgy. You know, think about going to a government website or a government email. It's all about text, isn't it? And could anything be more boring than just text? So your template, your design should look up to date and organic. Stick to your brand's guidelines. Do you have a color theme? I hope you do. I hope you've thought about branding. We had some branding ideas last week, and I hope you've given some thought to your branding, because it's the color, it's the font, it's the brand tone, it's logos that you might use. You always want to keep that in mind. Think about the cereal food aisle. Every time I talk about branding, I think about the cereal food aisle, because when you're going down the aisle, it's clear which are the Kellogg's cereals, which are the General Foods, it's not General Foods, General Mills cereals, because they're well branded and they stand out. You should have a brand that stands out, and that should be used as part of your template. If you're going to be producing newsletters, and this is actually a really good way to reach your customers, because in a newsletter, you can chock it full of interesting information. Again, the how-tos, the videos, blog posts that you write. Think about how often you would send a newsletter. Now, a newsletter is something that your user is going to be taking a little bit more time to read than just an email. So it shouldn't be going out all that often. I like to think about newsletters as being kind of a monthly, once 12 times a year, you send out a newsletter. It's got a theme to it. It's got a purpose to it for sure. If you don't have a purpose to sending it out, well, then don't send it out. Don't send it out for the sake of putting something out there. Calendars will help you keep track of your performance and optimize your mailing schedule, and using some of these tools will help a lot. Send it out when you have something important and relevant to say. And the language that you use, being a marketing person, I have been criticized in using overly flowery words to describe things. Specifically, I'm involved in a sailing event that happens once a year. And on LinkedIn, I recently compared it to climbing Mount Everest. And while this sailing event is pretty important, that was quite a bit of hyperbole, I think. And somebody called me out on it. Yeah, climbing Mount Everest, Diane, I think you've gone overboard on this one. What can I tell you? I'm a marketing person. This person was a lawyer, and he said, that's why we never have marketing people on the stand, because they always accentuate things, overblow them. So what kind of words should you use? Maybe words like amazing, fearless, wonderful, outstanding. Those are great words, aren't they? Because they're big words that really put up an image in your customer's mind and make them think perhaps even more about your service than if you used more benign words. Maybe you want to use some curiosity words like banned and forbidden. Ooh, anything that's forbidden. There was a time when I was growing up that there was a list of movies that were forbidden. Well, for us teenagers, what movies did we want to see? All of those that were on the forbidden list, because there had to be a reason why adults didn't want us to see them. So that was enough for us to see them. Be careful of over promising and exaggerating. Okay, well, jaw-dropping and astonishing, I could use those effectively if I felt that what I was saying was amazing, was jaw-dropping. And think about some of the titles of articles that you see, and you'll be sure to think about them specifically as you click on them to find out the clickbait titles that are going to get you to read articles that aren't all that interesting. So write short and strong sentences. Well, of course, nobody likes to read anymore, seemingly. We're in the Twitter and texting where it's all acronyms, actually. So nice short sentences and using you and your, personalizing it, right? Making it absolutely identifiable to your customers. So in your emails, you might actually use, Dear Diane, just got one today, Dear Diane. Okay, well, that's, pretty standard. Would I have thought differently if they said, hey, Diane, did you hear the way you say to yourself, hey, Diane, as opposed to Dear Diane? Dear Diane is like Dear John. Maybe some of you don't know about those letters, but you never wanted to receive those. So, not only in your salutation, but maybe in your first line, hope you already had your morning coffee because I'm going to knock your socks off with what I have to tell you. Or we promise to keep it short, but it's really important that you find out what we have going on in the upcoming week. Wouldn't you want to read that? Wouldn't you want to keep on reading? So think about your introductory sentences in your email. Make them compelling, make them exciting, make them something that someone wants to continue reading. Your creativity is only limited by your imagination. And Yeah, my husband says my imagination is way beyond my creativity. My imagination is kind of crazy. So don't be afraid to get creative. In the sailing event, I send out, probably 50 emails in the course of 6 months. And people never, almost never, unsubscribe from my emails. And I've even gotten emails coming back saying, I'm not going to participate this year, but I love getting your emails to find out what next silliness you're going to be bringing up about this event that I might want to know about. So make your emails fun, make them interesting. Maybe fun is not good for your business, but make them interesting at the very least, and start them off with some great greetings that make people want to read on. You should consider testing your content, having these A/B testing, and you're going to test not only the content, but perhaps test your audience, right? So maybe you have a campaign that's talking about your new products. And is it best to have the product pictures first and then the text afterwards, or should you intersperse the text with the product pictures, or should you group the product pictures? Whatever it is, let's have a dozen or 24 people, a small subset of your group, and send it out to them, and have another version of that same campaign and send it to the next dozen or 2 people on your list, and see what the return is. See if you get a better click-through rate from one campaign versus another. And if you do, then think about how you can modify it. So what are some of the things that you might be changing when you're doing the testing? Well, certainly one is the subject line and header. So the header is the first line of text within your email. The subject line is quite obvious, and it's something that you need to work on before you really send out your campaign. Should it be, how compelling should it be? It should definitely be short, right? We don't want to have too long a subject line, but it's something that should be compelling. How often should you send out your emails? What frequency should you be doing? As I said, I get one every single day. I don't think you should do more than one a day. I had an experience where I went to a website, I clicked through from Facebook, went to a website just this week, and it was a product that interested me mildly, but interested me in any event. And as expected, when I went to the website, up popped that fill in your email and you get 10% off. And okay, I'll do that. So I filled it in. I got the email. When I finished at the website, I looked at my email, and sure enough, there was the welcome email from them that I expected. And here's my 10% off coupon. Great, that's fabulous. Probably an hour later, I got another one that was also kind of welcoming and telling me about their products and how I might benefit them and how they're much better from other competitors. Okay, well, that's all interesting information. And then a couple of hours later, I got a third email from them. And I'm now thinking, okay, if this is the trend that you guys are going to be taking, I can see that this is going to be an unsubscribe, which is really sad because it took them so much to get me from Facebook to their website to sign up for this offer. And now they're kind of killing my spirit because 3 times in one day, they have sent an email. I didn't do anything that day, but the next day when they sent me 2 more emails, I was over it. I unsubscribed. I already have their coupon. It's in a folder that I create in my email. So if I want to go back to that and use that coupon, I can do that, but I don't want to get any more emails from them. So how frequently should you be emailing? It depends upon you and how much time and effort you want to put into it, and also the return that you get on these emails. If you're finding that you're getting a diminishing return, then maybe back off a little. Maybe you're sending it a little too often. The body copy should be not all that long. Get to your point. Don't diddle dally around. Get to your point. Personalize it if you can, if you have that information. Add visuals, add pictures. Definitely have a call to action, right? Why have a call to action? Because pretty much people will do what you tell them if you tell them. Click here to see more. Okay, I'll click there, by golly. Share so that your friends can see this. Okay, that's a good idea. I'll do that. Yeah, Sally, has that same interest that I do, so I think I will share it. Consider testing your layout and format, and of course your copy. So those are some of the things that you might think about when doing your A/B testing. You want to reward your audience for being subscribers. Let me just take a sip. Thank you. Why should you sign up to get emails? Well, because there's going to be perks, right? You're going to do something for me if I give you my email address. Do you know how much I treasure my email address? I don't give it out to just everybody. I gave it to you. So you need to be careful with that email address and not overuse it. But I'd like it if you rewarded me for being a subscriber. Maybe I've been a subscriber for 6 months. Maybe I bought some things from you. Thank you so much for doing that. And what is my reward? Send out emails to show that you appreciate people's continued interest. Make sure your subscribers benefit from reading your emails, and share free content. Don't forget that 55% of email is now opened in mobile devices, and this number is going up every single day. So when you set up your email using an app, using a program, probably on your computer, not on your phone, when you set that up, there is generally an opportunity for you to view that same email in a phone format. And it is very important that you do that you not just say, oh, this looks great on everybody's screen. See how big the picture is, see how clear it is. People are going to obviously notice that little plant that I have in this large room. Well, maybe they'll notice it on a computer screen, but the chances are great that by the time this shrinks down to a phone size, that little plant that you've got on a table that you're selling now looks like the size of an ant, and I can't appreciate it. So always look at your email on a mobile device as well. Being able to execute marketing campaigns that display and operate effectively on mobile devices is an essential skill. Well, actually, yeah. I mean, really, looking at it on a mobile device goes without saying, is imperative. So you need to pay attention to your pre-header text. So you know that the first line, or perhaps the first line of your email text is what's visible in a preview, as a preview. So if you look at this example, this picture below, so this is a business that I have bought from, and their subject is, my first impression was wow. Hyperbole? I don't know. Kind of got my attention though, right? But you'll see that the next line there is, these people take tremendous pride in their packaging. Well, they kind of brought me down with their pre-header text there, because what do I care about their packaging? Sometimes it does impress me, but would I buy from a business just because of the packaging? I love Goodr, G-O-O-D-R, Goodr sunglasses. I love their packaging. When it comes in a very special box. And in fact, I've started to keep these boxes. It's one of those, it's probably an age thing, one of those things where this is a perfect box. I have no idea what I'm ever going to do with this box, but it's lovely. And inside that box is another smaller box that holds my sunglasses. And it's Also a beautiful box with a magnetic lid on it. So again, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but now I have a collection of them. And inside that is a lovely bag, which also doubles as a cleaner. Well, they sold me on their packaging, but I didn't know that until I got my first pair of Gooders in the mail. So this preview, this pre-header, these people take tremendous pride in their packaging. They got me to think about clicking on their title, but they lost me on their pre-header text. And then the second one, the Glass Studio, glass workshops are going fast. Register now. Hi, Diane. Oh, there's a nice personalization, right? It isn't dear, it's hi. Hi, Diane. That's a nice one. Summer is almost here. Register today. Oh, okay. They've got me. The glass workshops are coming up. Oh, right. Summer is almost here. I should be thinking about that. If not for me, for my children or grandchildren, register today. Okay, I think I might click on that. So pay attention to your title for sure, but also to your first line of text. Keep it short, punchy, and easy to consume, and make it one connected message. Okay, check the subject line. Look at this interesting, I thought it was an interesting chart that is talking about the length of the subject and the average read rate. So a subject that's 10 characters long, 10 characters long is read at a much more than one that's 20 or 30 characters long. And then you see there's a diminishing return on that. So it's important that you keep your subject concise, interesting, motivating in terms of motivating people to actually click on the email to find out what's inside it. Within your email, use buttons rather than links if you can. Buttons are much more effective. They're bigger, they're more obvious, and you can have a number of words on those buttons. Those are CTA, call to action buttons. And again, as I mentioned before, if you tell people click here, there's a good chance they'll click there. But click here is not a very effective term for you to put on buttons. Register here would be better. Contact us, call us, something that is short, but is an action word and tells exactly what you want people to do, because people do what you tell them to do pretty much. Go easy on images. We had an interesting experience recently with a client who showed us an email that they had sent out, and it was already sent out, so there was nothing that we could do. They didn't ask our advice about it, and they had a collage of images that were just so busy and disconnected that later, when the other mentor and I were talking about it, we said, we did suggest that the next one that they send out, they pass by our marketing person, but you want to say, why did you use those pictures? What did those pictures convey that we're missing? Because we as the potential consumer saw that as just a blur of pictures without a sense to it. So if you're going to use pictures, and I love using pictures, pictures can be so effective. You know what they say about babies and puppies, whatever your product is, throw in a baby and a puppy and you've got somebody's attention on there. If you're selling toilet paper and there's a baby holding it and there's a puppy pulling on the toilet paper, you got that paper sold, or at least you got my attention and I might be buying that paper. So nice, clean, simple images. Don't over design with too many. Use alt text. Alt text, every program will allow you to have it. So it's for the visually impaired, or it's also for search engines. So when you have an opportunity to add alt text to your images, it's always a good idea to do that. And don't put too many images in, because did you know that might get you caught in a spam filter? And the last thing we want to do is get put into somebody's spam filter so that they're not reading our emails at all. Incorporate readable fonts. Oh my, this is true not only of email, but websites and any time that you're communicating with the world, which is all the time. I don't know why people think that fancy scripts make you look more successful. I don't know why that is, because fancy scripts, what it can do to many people is turn them off. And although our grandchildren are actually learning script in school, many of the younger folks don't even know how to read script. So it would be a waste of time for you to do that. You don't want to go with this bad font list. Go with the good font list. There's nothing wrong with a good Arial or Garamond or some of the classic fonts. They're classic fonts for a reason. They're easy to read. In your email, nothing should be below 13 points, because when you squeeze that down on a phone, that's going to be even smaller. 13 points on a monitor is lovely to read, easy to read. So everybody can read that. A header size, a minimum of 22 points. These are some suggestions. If you think 22 points is too horsey, too big, well, then you can resize that. But it should be a good enough size that it's easy to read. And when you're thinking about your fonts, think about the color. I can't tell you the number of times I get an email, or again, go to a website and they have this dark background and this smoky gray text. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yeah, but I can't read it. Sometimes, and I've actually done this because I wanted to read it, I will highlight the text on an email or a website, copy it, and put it into Word so that I can just read what the text is. Now, I have to be pretty motivated to do all of that work. So don't make it that hard for me to read the information. So look at your colors against your font, and don't go all smoky on us so that we can't read it. Or I love the dark blue background with the lighter blue text. That can be interesting, but boy, change that blue text to yellow text or red text, it just pops. So think about your colors. Break up text, avoid long paragraphs. Well, I'm not even encouraging you to write long paragraphs. Get to the point. What do you have to say? Just say it. Don't put too many links together all at once. And remember, links are, buttons are preferable to links, and put your most relevant and important information first. Yeah, because they may not get back down to the bottom. If you're trying to build up some kind of suspense and tell them at the bottom what you're getting to, you may have lost them long before that. So think about just getting to the point, getting in, getting out. People have no time to spend diddling with whatever it is that you're saying when you could get to the point. So we're talking about email marketing, and one of the most important things you need for email marketing is email addresses. So where do you get them from? Well, one primary place, of course, is from your credit card receipts. Your credit card company is keeping track of all of those names and email addresses, and that's available to you as the person who collected the money from these people. So take those email addresses and put them someplace, put them into a group, because those are customers. collect email addresses from Facebook ads. You can have a button there, a sign up button on your Facebook page where people will give you this, and treasure those email addresses. People don't give them up freely for the most part. They think that there's going to be some value in giving you this information. So use it judiciously. Those famous website pop-ups to make your forms more prominent. You know, one of my big things about those pop-ups, if you have control over the timing of them, I really resent when a pop-up comes onto a website and it says, give me your email address and I'll give you a 10% discount or sign up for our newsletter. I've just gotten here, you know, I've just walked in the room. I've just gotten to your website and you're asking already for my email address. I don't even know if I like you. I don't even know if I want to hear from you. So I would like it if you waited maybe 30 or 60 seconds, a minute, until I had an opportunity to look around your website a little bit and say, oh, well, this website looks like it has interesting information. I like the way it's formatted. I like how clean it is. I like the headers that are on it. I think the products are on it are good, or your services are interesting. Now, come at me with this pop-up. And now I might be in a better position, or I might be more interested in filling in that information because I've bought into what it is that you're sharing with me. Share your links on social media. Ask people to share your emails. Again, call to action could be share this with your friends who might benefit. Could be that you all moved into a new community and everybody needs landscaping. So I just sent you an email about my landscaping service. Share this with your friends. What a good idea. I think I might share that with Sally next door and Harry across the street. This next one, add a link to your sign up form on your normal email signature. This one makes me crazy. I want people to recognize that your email is, your outgoing email is a business card, whether it's your personal email or your business email. At the bottom of every email, you want to insert a business card. How can they contact you? You know, so many people have secret businesses. Many people that I know from one organization don't really know the things that I do, because in this organization, I do different things. So on every email, my personal email has a different one, obviously, than my SCORE mentoring email. But on every email at the bottom, I have my name. I have my title if I have a title. I have my email address. Why would I give them my email address? Didn't they just see it? It's up there in the header. Yeah, well, this is an easy email address. And if they want to contact me, or if they want to add that to their address book, makes it easy for them to do so. So it should have all the information that you want to share with people on a business card. Put it at the bottom of your email. And that's another way that you can get people to put your email in their address book and your contact information, because on that email signature, you've got your telephone number, you have your website, you have your LinkedIn account, you have your Facebook account, whatever you want people to know about you, you have it all there. Okay, and lastly, you can add a subscription bar to your website. That can be a subscription to your monthly newsletter. If you do recipes, everybody loves recipes. And all recipes now are stored online, it seems. That's where I do. I was planning dinner tonight, and that's where I went to get a recipe. So, you know, whatever it is that you want to offer people for in turn for them to sign up, have a little subscription bar to do that. You'll want to segment your contacts. We talked about this briefly, but the people that have bought from you previously go into one pot. The people that signed up for your newsletter, they go into another pot. The people who have contacted you, maybe you had an event and you had a sign-up sheet there, they go into another pot, because you can't very well send an email to your previous customers that said, it was great seeing you at our recent event. Well, I wasn't at that recent event. I I saw them someplace else. So you want to be sure that when you are segmenting your group, that it makes sense. Now, there are times that you want to send to all segments for sure, but by segmenting your group, it makes for more personalized emails. Okay, so I alluded to this earlier. I'm sure that you have all heard of Constant Contact and MailChimp. Constant Contact is the big one, probably the first one, and it is probably the best known, but it's the one that the big guys use, the major companies. And as a result, it tends to be a little bit more costly than some of the others. MailChimp was always a great alternative. I recommended this for years until recently they started changing the way that they do business. Used to be that you could have quite a few email addresses stored in different groups. You could send out free emails. It was really great that you had a nice, cheap resource that you could use. They have changed their rules and they're not as inexpensive or as easy to use as they had been. So you might want to look at some of these other options. HubSpot, I'm sure you've heard of HubSpot. Aweber, MailerLite. These are some alternatives. And don't forget, you're going to get a link to the video for this presentation, as well as a copy of all of these slides. So if I see you writing furiously, you don't have to do that. That email will come in the next day or two. Give us a time to download it and get it out to you, but you will get a copy of all of these emails. So, my goodness, I can't believe it's been 45 minutes. Final thoughts. Avoid writing robotic emails. Let's make it fun. Let's make the world fun and interesting. Your flow of emails should be filled with a personal touch. We should get to know you better. We should understand what your unique selling proposition is and how it benefits me. Don't forget to evaluate the effectiveness of your efforts. All of those products that I talked about briefly will give you statistics on the open rate, the click-through rate, and the bounce rate, and who has unsubscribed, and all of that information. Look at that data because that data is important to you. You don't want to send out an email that hasn't been opened by many people. There's no point in sending that email out again. If it's an email that's gotten a good response, you might take advantage. Most of these businesses, most of these companies that will help you with your email will be able to send out the same email 3 days later or 4 days later to the group of people who didn't open it the first time. You'd be surprised at how many people will open it the second time. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they were on vacation. Maybe they were busy. Who knows why? Send an email when you have something to say. Well, that's pretty easy to think about, right? When you have something to say, you don't have something to say every week. And you can plan these out. There are also products that you can use that will allow you to space emails out. How often should you send them out? You know, that's probably the $64,000 question. It really depends upon the kind of business you have. It depends upon what you have to tell people. Do you have interesting things to tell people? An interesting idea might be, what is your competition doing? Are they sending out daily emails? If they're sending out daily emails, you might consider it. If they're not, if they're sending out weekly, then maybe that has worked for them and maybe that can work for you. So try it. Figure out what your pace should be on that, and prep your emails for mobile viewing. So I see we have a couple of questions and chat items, and I will get to that in a moment. But I just want to reinforce our website, minnesota.score.org. If you want to volunteer, if you'd like to be a presenter or you'd like to be a mentor for new businesses, well, contact us. Click on the volunteer and you can get involved in that. you would like a mentor. You think that I've made it sound attractive. I hope I have. I have about 20 clients right now, and I think that all of them feel that they've benefited from having a SCORE mentor. So apply for a SCORE mentor. Check out our other workshops, podcasts, and templates that are all available on minnesota.score.org. And lastly, you're going to be getting a survey in addition to the email with our link to this webinar and the link to my slides. But you're going to be getting a survey, and it will really be helpful. As I think I mentioned, I'm the education chair for our chapter, and I'm always looking for topics that would be of interest to you. So part of the survey is, what can we improve, and what other topics are you interested in? So look for that email. We really appreciate it if you would take the time to fill that in. So now we're up to Q&A. I'm going to go to the Q&A. Anonymous. Which free email service do you recommend? You know, you're going to have to do your research on that, because you're looking for different things than I'm looking for. You want to find a service that is well recommended, that other people are happy with, that doesn't charge you, doesn't nickel and dime you. I think it's important that you do some research on this your own. Okay, so I'm going to say that's answered. And Teresa, I was unable to participate in the workshop part 2 last week. Will it be repeated or the slides available? You know, Teresa, if you go to our website, minnesota.score.org, and you do a search, last week's presenter was, oh goodness, her name escapes me, Sally Ullman. If you go to our website and do a search for Sally Ullman, her webinar will come up. It's there ready for you right now, and you'd be able to watch that webinar. Okay, good, done and done. Okay, now I'm going to be going to the chats. Let's see what y'all have to say. Okay. Thanks for everything. Oh, you're more than welcome. Great Zoom. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, will we be getting a copy? Yep. You'll be getting a copy of the presentation and the slides. Third point, jot down. Okay. I must have a typo in there. Thank you, Cheryl, for the looking at that. You're getting the presentation. Yep. Okay. I don't see any actual questions there. Just thanks for the information. Good. One more Q&A. Thank you. But do you have anyone that can help talk about drop shipping online stores? Okay. You know, when you get that survey, Madeline, if you could put that in as your request, you never know. I might be able to find somebody. I will keep that in mind and look for somebody who could give that kind of a presentation about drop shipping online stores. So not unlike what we do for Amazon. Good suggestion on that. Okay, we have no open questions, and we're coming up onto the hour. So I think I'm going to thank you all for coming. It has been great. I hope that you leave with some information that you can implement. And I look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to have yet another wonderful workshop. You'll be getting a link to next week's workshop along with the video for this week's. So you'll be able to register for it. We have a wonderful presenter online for that. So thank you all for coming, and goodbye.